Hello.
Morning.
Good morning.
Louis.
Good morning.
I'm still wearing my PJs.
You're still wearing, I wish I was still wearing my PJs.
Hi.
That would be perfect. That's a good day when you get to wear PJs all day.
Today's project seems very fun.
I think I have done salt dough ornaments with you, or just maybe the dough ornaments. I definitely did that with you.
Ariana. Hi, Ariana. Hi. She's my friend from school.
Where's the pen? This one. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to let my friends in. I hope everyone is well this morning. I hope you had a good weekend so far.
Yeah.
School's almost over.
Party.
Party, you party already?
Yes.
When does school end, Izzy? Wednesday?
I
Friday?
think it ends June 26th.
Wow.
That's what my mom said.
Wow, you got a couple more weeks to go. And then it's summer fun. Okay. Hi, Louis. Welcome back.
Say hello.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, this is a fun project. This is fun, and actually we're only making a small batch, and you can make a larger batch later. You can do this at any time. I usually do these during holidays so I can make ornaments. You don't have to do just ornaments. It's a really easy dough to make. And here's my samples. I did bake mine in the oven. I usually air dry them. You can air dry or you can bake them, and I'm going to tell you how to bake them in the end. Of course, you can have Mom. I also, really my intentions, this is like a coin dish I made. My intentions really were for you guys to make something for your dad or your grandpa or your uncle or whoever. Because Father's Day is coming up, and if you weren't going to bake them and you were going to let them dry, they need a few days to dry. Can you see it? Okay.
Brian, you just gave me a cool idea.
What is it, love?
So you just gave me a cool idea. So I might take some of my animals and make them, and then I might put them on a piece of paper.
Yep.
And give it to my dad. Just don't tell him.
Do you remember when we did fossils when we were at camp? Did you come that day? It might have been the week before you came in.
Yeah,
So
I was probably on vacation.
Yeah. So this dough, you can also do that. You don't just have to do ornaments or make a bowl. You can take some of it, and you can take, like you said, you can take your little plastic dinosaurs or even leaves, anything like that, and you can make a print in it. Yeah, those are cookie cutters. I have 2 of mine here. You can use your Play-Doh ones, but you can also make impressions. That's when you can take a toy and you can push it in there.
Yeah.
And it will get a printout, and then you can let those dry, and those can be fossils, and you can paint them later on or not paint them at all.
I want to paint.
Okay, we can paint them, Olivia.
Okay, so I think we're going to get started in a minute. You're going to need water. You're going to need your measuring cup. Now you can make a larger batch of this if you during holidays. Maybe you'll remember, water with the measuring cup. During holidays, if you want to incorporate this into a tradition for you, when your family comes over, you can make these ornaments for your Christmas tree.
Miss Ryan, I already pre-measured my ingredients. For
Good.
example, I already have my flour.
Do you have a little extra flour on the side? Because we don't want it to be so sticky.
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. Because sometimes it doesn't come out exactly right. Perfect. Yeah, it's perfect. I'm going to work on my parchment paper. I'm going to work back here with you. Mix it, and it's just like cooking. It's the same kind of science. You want to get the right measurements. Now these ornaments, I did take this one and I baked it with the paint on it. I just wanted to see if it would work. If you don't have acrylic, you can use watercolors, but I've never baked with the watercolor on it. And you can test that, yeah. And I'm going to tell you how to bake them in the end. When you bake them, it just speeds the time up for them to dry. Because if you leave them to air dry, they take a few days and you have to flip them and you have to be really careful. But it's up to you on however you want to do it. That's why I wanted us to do it on a parchment paper or an aluminum foil. That's just so you can work on top of that. And then if you want to cook them, you can just put them right in the oven on your parchment paper already ready. Okay, so if we all have our mixing bowls, we're going to want to take our mixing bowl and our measuring cup. My measuring cup is 1 cup size. Okay, and you want to take your flour. And I only need 1 cup, so that means fill it to the top. You don't have to pack it in. A lot of times with flour, when you measure flour, flour is tricky. Usually when you use flour for baking, you don't pack it down. The recipe will tell you to pack it if it's necessary, but a good time when you're using flour for most recipes, you won't push down on it. You'll just pour it in there. Okay, so if you got your cup size, if it's a little more, a little less, that's okay because we can add to this. This isn't your baking recipe. When you're baking, you want to be precise. We're just making dough, and we're going to put that in our bowl. Okay, you put that in. All right, let me let the boys in. We have Ishmael and Andrew waiting.
Are they?
Well, let me get them in. And let me give them a minute. You can mix your flour if you want while you wait. Let me just let them have a minute. Good morning, Andrew. Good morning, Ishmael. Are you ready? Okay, we have added our flour in so far, so I'm just going to give you a minute to do that.
What just happened?
Okay, Andrew, you're up to a bowl. Get your bowl.
There's a mixing bowl.
Sorry, guys. Yep, you can mix it if you like while you wait. Now, with this recipe, if you don't have paint and you want to try this later on, you can add food coloring and you can add liquid watercolor. So you can dye your flour if you wish. So that's another simple way to do this project. Okay. And instead of painting later, I like to do the painting, so I don't usually do that. Let me let another friend in.
What are we supposed to be doing?
Give me 1 more minute, guys. I'm sorry it's a little slow. We have some friends still coming in, and I just want to catch them up. Hi, guys. Good morning. Okay, we just started. If you have a bowl, and we put a cup of flour in our bowl. That's where we're at right now. Okay. And I was just letting them know that if you do this recipe later, you can always add food coloring to dye your flour if you don't want to paint later on. You can also bake this, and I'm going to tell you how to bake it to make it dry faster if you don't want to air dry. You can also do glitter, but don't do glitter and put it in the oven because glitter is basically plastic and it will melt. So if you ever want to glitter, if you ever want to glitter this, it may be okay if you put glitter in your flour and then you want to bake it. You do bake this at a very low temperature, so that might be okay. But if you do try it, I suggest that you keep checking on it. Like I said, I did bake this one with my paint on it just to see if it would work. It was fine. But I get nervous with those things. I don't want the house to go up in smoke and a fire to start. Or, just sometimes if you cook things that aren't necessarily food, they make gases and you can get sick off of them. So that's a reason why a lot of times I won't put things that are not necessarily food into the oven. I had the ventilator on, and moms and dads will know more about that and whether they want you to do that or not. But today we're going to use our paint after and air dry. Okay, so if everybody has their bowl, has their 1 cup of flour, you are caught up to us. And the next thing we want to put in here is a half a cup, that's half the amount of the flour, of salt. Now, if you don't have the full amount of salt, because sometimes we think, oh, well, a half a cup's not that much. Half a cup of salt is a lot. And this is a kind of dough you don't want to eat. This is not, yes, it's edible. Salt you can eat and flour you can eat, but this is going to be really salty and it's really not meant to be eaten. Basically, you want the salt. The reason for the salt in the dough is to preserve it. And that's to keep it from rotting, is what I mean by that. The salt will preserve your ornaments or your bowl and will cause it not to rot, because food will rot. So you want to take that measurement and you're going to do half an amount.
So how long do you think this thing will last? How long will it last?
So you put that in there. Put your salt in your bowl. And you're going to mix that up. You want to get it nice and in there. Just mix it in there good. Like I said, the salt really is just for helping your ornament not rot, and you can save these for many years. And you can do this at any time. You can make, this is a dough it's a really old traditional dough, salt dough, that people have used for traditions in their family for a really long time. I know families that use this dough to make Christmas ornaments every year. So it doesn't necessarily just have to be for Father's Day or for anything. You can make this dough to make bowls. If you want to get adventurous, you can get a bowl. You can put paper in it and push your dough in there and then let that dry. And that will become a dough bowl that will harden. And you can paint that later on. You can keep trying different things with this. We talked about making fossils. For those who weren't here before, you can make fossils. You'll take a lump of the dough and press something in there. I like to put little dinosaurs or cars. Okay, so once you have your salt and your flour in your salt dough, and later on, maybe if you want to try this again later, you can put food coloring so you don't even have to paint it, and you can marbleize it. We did handprints. If you want to try later on to roll it out and put your handprint and cut your hand out, you can make a hand. Those are pretty cool too. Okay, so what we want to do now is it's a half a cup of water, same amount as the salt, and half the amount of flour. So half a cup of water. You want to go ahead and get that. And you're going to add that when you're ready. And you're going to mix that really good. Now it is a dough, and if it's kind of, yep, that looks good. Keep mixing it. If it gets too hard to mix with your spoon, please don't use your spoon. Scrape your spoon off and use your hands. We really want this mixed well. Now, I think I have too much water in mine. I'm going to just show you my dough. It's a little moist. It kind of looks like a biscuit. I don't know if you guys have ever made biscuits. It kind of looks like a biscuit.
For me, it feels like making pancakes.
Yeah, it's like making pancakes. Pancakes are a little bit more liquid. This is a dough. We want this dough to be not so moist, but not dry as it's crumbling. We want it to be just enough. So once you can't use your spoon, go ahead in there. Get all of it mixed in with your hand. Now mine feels sticky, and I can feel that it's moist, and before I take it out, I'm gonna add a little more flour. I don't want it so wet, and I don't want it so dry, but add a little bit of flour at a time. You don't have to do a lot at one time. It's always best to do a little bit, because once you have too much, I added that in there. Okay, and you can work on, you don't have to work inside your bowl. You have too much, Jackson, yours is too moist. You're going to want to put more flour in yours, okay?
Yeah.
And believe me, all that flour on your hands will come out, will come off. If you want to just scrape it,
I'm trying to get this.
pour it out on my
It's not going so well.
plate, and I'm gonna, it's like making pizza dough.
So good.
And I'm just gonna get all that flour in there until it doesn't feel so sticky. If I need to add more flour, I'll add more flour. This takes a few minutes. You really just want it right. If it's too wet, it's gonna take a really long time, and it has a better chance of cracking if it's just too moist. But if it's too dry, you'll get the same results. It'll just fall apart. But it does look like pizza dough. Okay, if you still feel that it's sticky and sticking to your fingers, it's still a little too moist. You still want to add a little bit of flour. Just keep adding a little bit of flour. Now, if you have any cuts on your hands, remember that there's salt in this, and it may burn a little bit.
I think our dough is
But
perfect.
it's not bad for you. It's just that the salt will get in there, and it'll just burn just a little bit, and that's why if you have any cuts, it will hurt. And you can just wash your hands. I'm going to keep adding my flour until it doesn't feel sticky anymore. Just a little at a time. And you're just going to keep, they call it kneading, and that's when we're just kind of like massaging our dough. We're massaging it, yep. Kneading with your fingers. And I like to flatten it out and then add a little more flour until it's ready. And you can make it the pizza anytime you like. That's what it's like. All right. Remember, if it's still too sticky, just a little more flour. We don't want it, but you got to really squish it to get it all around. Okay, once it's not sticking to your hands, your dough is ready. And this makes a lot of dough. I think that this is a good enough amount for a starter, but you can do this again. This is nice and a nice, easy amount to work with. Okay.
Miss Ryan,
Yes?
is this good?
Okay, use your hands. Ishmael, use your hands and mix it. Get rid of the thing. I want you to make it like look whole. I'm going to show you mine. Okay. See my dough? It's kind of even flattening out. It's like all together. Izzy, yours is looking good. Really want to squish it in there. It should look like a pizza dough. It should look like Play-Doh. And it shouldn't be so sticky to the touch. Usually when it's sticky, it's going to stay on your fingers, and you almost, yeah, Olivia needs more flour. More flour. All right. This part, like I said, it takes a few minutes. You just got to keep adding a little more flour so it's not so sticky. You can see how mine is not sticking anymore. It kind of looks just like Play-Doh. It'll look like a nice dough that you almost want to eat it because it's just so perfect after a while. Izzy, it's starting to look good. Yeah, it's just going to be really salty. You ever taste Play-Doh before? That's what this is going to taste like. It's disgusting. Okay. Yeah. Once it's not sticking to your hands, you're ready. Okay. Lola, it's looking good. Yeah, looks like fun. You can use a pinwheel if you wanted. I like to just use my hands because sometimes it doesn't work out. When we start making shapes or bowls or whatever you decide you're going to make with yours, don't make it too thin. You're only going to make, you want to make it like 1/4 of an inch, maybe the size of the thickness of your finger. Because if it's too thin, they'll fall apart and you don't want it. And if you make it too thick, they'll just take too long to dry. They won't dry right. Okay. Okay, how is everybody doing? Yeah, you need more flour in there. If it still feels too sticky, just a little more flour. This is a really simple dough that you can use at any time to make whatever you need. And it's okay to rub the flour on there, and if you want to go ahead and wash your hands at this point, once your dough is ready, you can go ahead and wash your hands if you like. I usually just stay this way until we're all done because I'm going to get paint on
I can feel the salt.
Jackson, I can't hear you, honey. Are you talking to me or mommy?
I can feel the salt.
You can feel it, right? On your fingers. Yeah. Sometimes it burns. It's almost like and you can smell it. It smells like dough and salt, like almost if you're at the beach and the pizzeria all at the same time. Is yours ready, Jackson? I'm going to give everybody a minute. You may want to, Olivia, you still want to add more flour there. It's still it looks sticky. Is it sticky? I lost her. Okay. It shouldn't stick. If it's sticking all over your hands,
It's sticking all over my hands.
then you need more flour.
More flour.
Yeah,
flour,
it shouldn't be sticky. It should just be like regular Play-Doh after a while. Louis needs to add more flour.
I need mine if there's 4.
Lola looks awesome.
I think we need a couple.
Working good, right?
Olivia, put it back on mute, please.
Okay. This is really good exercise for your hands, by the way. It really gets your muscles and your fingers working well. This is really fun to play with. Ishmael, why are you so sad? You only have one seat? I can't give you any apples today. You're not here for me. I can't feed you. Yeah. Remember, if it's sticky, flour. Isla, you doing good? Should be a nice ball. Lola looks good. Awesome. You got lots of dough there. Yeah, got to really mix it in there. Yeah. Kellen looks awesome. Yep, perfect. Okay, so you guys, let's see who's ready. Let's see if we have a few ready, and then I can move on and instead of having you guys sit and wait.
If you like to play with Play-Doh,
You can play with it for a little while if you like while you're waiting. That's fine. Yeah.
If you have this rolling pin,
Yep.
I use the rolling pin.
That looks good. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, I think most of my friends are ready. Yeah, that looks awesome. Yeah, start making your shapes if you're ready to make your shapes. Remember, not too thin. You only want to make it maybe the thickness of your finger, not too thick because it won't dry. You want to get that out. I like to just push it out. Now, the reason for the straw on my list, I just think the straw is the best way to put a hole in your ornament. They just make really nice holes. It makes it easier for you to string it later. If you didn't have a straw, you can go ahead and use the end of a paintbrush to just make a nice size hole. Remember when you're making your holes, try not to be too close to the edge because if it dries, it will crack and then you'll be upset later on. You know, try to be aware of where you're putting the hole in your ornament. Yeah, it's coming along. Okay, Olivia is finally coming along. Yeah, it's starting to look good there. Less sticky.
Yeah. Do we cut the ornaments now?
Yeah, you can push it out and then start cutting. Now the best way, okay, so don't make it too thick. Like I said, about 1/4 of a thick or the thickness of your hand. That's really all you want. You don't want to make it more than that or less than that. My trick with doing cutouts, because sometimes it's hard, I put my cutout on and I push down and I wiggle it a little bit. Wiggle it. And then I will pick up my leftovers. And now I have, sometimes it'll just fall out and sometimes it doesn't, but it's just easier to move. See how it looks like a nice cookie. Just a really nice cookie. And if it comes misshaped, you could just shape it again.
I got it out.
Oh, I was gonna cut it out.
And you'll probably get a good 4 to 6 ornaments out of that dough. You want to go ahead and make as many as you can. So this amount of dough is really just a good amount for a person.
I like it.
You can make more, but I don't think it's necessary. After this, you can even do, you can make more dough. And if you don't want to do the ornaments, like I said, my original idea was to make this coin jar or coin tray. And you can go ahead, I shaped this with my hand. You can do that also. I just kind of pinch the edges. Your dough should be solid enough. And that's also how you know that your dough is ready. When you shape it, it should be able to keep it. It should be able to stay in that shape. Otherwise, it's just too moist.
A lot of excess.
So you want to do as many as you can. If you have parchment paper, put it on your parchment paper, and then you can go ahead and start painting it. Once you have all yours out, like I said, if you're not going to cook them, you're going to let them air dry. If you're letting them air dry, you're going to want to flip them.
Why don't you each choose? Okay.
I choose this one.
So thank you for my birthday wishes, guys. Yep, it was my birthday yesterday. I love birthdays.
I don't know whether I should ask or not, but how old are you?
Do you want to know the true age?
Ooh,
Fine.
I'll try to.
Sure. I'd like to.
How about you guess? How about you guess? I won't be insulted. How old do you think it is?
Yesterday.
Huh? 40? That's a good guess. 5? Nora, you want to guess? I can't hear you though, honey.
38.
Oh yeah.
39.
I'm older than that, but I like your guesses. That's good. I like 10 years younger. That's fine.
7. 10 years.
What happened to my boys?
Just make that into a giant circle.
I'm not insulted. You can't prevent getting older. So you just gotta go with it. I like to think it makes me makes me smarter.
Okay.
I chose my bag. This is fun.
Miss Ryan, after she has the cutout, then you start to paint it?
Yes, you can start painting it. Now, like I said, I painted it with the acrylic, and I did bake it after that. Let me explain that part to you. If you're going to decide to bake your ornaments to make them dry quicker, they'll be dry in a day. You can put them on a low temperature of about 200. I think I did 200, 225. I wouldn't go much more than that. You can bake them at 200, but they need to bake for a good at least 2 hours, but you can check on them. I bake them a little bit longer. So if you want to bake them, that's fine. I did do it with the acrylic paint. It was fine for me. I think the acrylic paint would be a little bit more, would be a little harder than if you use watercolor. Watercolor may be fine to also bake.
That's just
Of
me.
course, keep your fans, your exhaust fans on when you're trying to do
green
something
for
like
the
that.
So
You
green.
never know what's in the paint, so I don't want anyone getting
She
sick.
said we can bake them, but I guess that's after.
I like to paint it right away because it's just fun. But if you do paint them and you decide to air dry them, they are going to take about 3-4 days to dry, and you're going to want to flip them. You're going to, and they will take a while to dry. But they're nice and solid. I bake these. They're nice and solid. You want to try later and bake them. I suggest baking them. It's just quicker, and then you can hang them and string them right away instead of waiting.
What are you doing?
And then if you want to add glitter, don't add glitter if you're going to bake them. The glitter will melt. It's plastic. If you decide later on to glitter them and you've already painted them, add a little glue and a little glitter.
Do not spill any.
And then you can add your glitter with that. You can add glitter into your dough and bake it. That should be okay, but I would just keep an eye on it. 200 degrees. I'll put it in the email just in case you forget. 200 degrees, about 2 to 4 hours. It'll be dry and ready to hang and do whatever you want with them. But painting, I like the acrylic. I only like the acrylic because it really covers it. It really looks nice, and the acrylic stays a really long time. I have done salt dough with the watercolor. It kind of looks really pretty. It's a little bit more transparent, the color. You can repaint it later. And if you want, because if you do with watercolor, you kind of get a matte finish, where with acrylic, you'll see it's a little bit shinier. With watercolor, it may not be as shiny. And if you want more of a gloss look, you can, and you just want to be simple and keep it kid-friendly, then I would put glue or Mod Podge over it to give it a glossier look. You can even take these, and if you don't paint them in the beginning, and you decide to bake them, and they're baked and they're done, you could do nail polish. You can also use nail polish with these. You can also use your regular tempera paint. They'll also be kind of transparent, and you may want to let it dry and do another coating on them. We have about 5 more minutes. I'm going to unmute everyone so that if you have any questions, we can, how do I unmute everybody? I don't remember. It's been a
She can hear it.
Okay. Oh, here it is. Unmute. Okay. All right. We have about 4 more minutes left. I always enjoy doing salt dough. It's just a really quick, you have this on hand usually. You want to make really cute ornaments or a quick gift. Oh, that looks really nice. Yeah, Lola looks really good. Yeah, Ariana, that looks great. Let me see who else is here. Yeah, Olivia, how are you doing now, honey? Mommy got it right for you. Jackson, what does your thing say? Jackson, the power, I can't read it. It looks cute. The Power Man.
Ryan, do you like
You're
my
fancy.
yellow? Do you like it?
Let me see. Oh, I love that. What is that, an angel? Perfect. Perfect. I love it. You're going to put, don't forget when you put your little straw holes, give it some room on the edges so it doesn't crack. Sometimes when I do these, I don't always put, sometimes I'll put the hole on the side and they can just hang like that. But just make sure when you put the hole, not too close to the edge. So if you're going to hang them, you don't always have to hang these. They are usually meant to make ornaments, but like you don't have to make an ornament. It could just, the angel, you can leave your angel just like that. Let's see where Kellen is. How'd you do? Yeah, that looks beautiful. Kellen, nice. Yeah, I like that. Let's see how Ben's doing. Ben, how you doing down there?
Which one will be the best one?
Yeah, that looks good. Let's see, Louis, you having a good day there? Getting it all ready. In the oven, 200 degrees. It's going to be a couple of hours. You'll just check on it. Of course, remember, do not let mom and dad open the oven. And they will be very hot. They'll be like hot cookies when they come out. Ariana, how did you do today? I hope I wasn't, you have a question? Or you just, okay, good. So did I go too, I don't want to go too fast. If you have any trouble with anything, please let me know. I'll help you out. This was a nice, easy project though today. You take your time on this one. We take our time. Yeah. Please feel free if you have any more questions. If you need any help, I'll help you out. Okay, we have 1 more minute and it's probably going to go off, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this project. Maybe you can continue it and make something else. Like I said, they don't have to be just ornaments. I made a little dish bowl. You can take a regular bowl and place it inside your bowl. If it's a metal bowl, you can bake it, and you bake that bowl up, and you'll have a nice bowl to paint after. You want to do it that way.
That'll be cool.
Okay.
Guys, I enjoyed our day again.
Today.
You should keep this recipe. This is one cup of flour, a half a cup of salt, and that's the same with the water.
We've been down here for a while.
It's called the salt dough, so that's really easy to find. Usually they have the recipe usually is much larger, but I think that this size is just perfect. You'll get enough ornaments to color. Okay, so we're gonna disconnect in about 5 minutes. Not even, 5 seconds really. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for joining me again.
Goodbye, Miss
Don't
White.
forget to send pictures. I'd love to see you work. Bye. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Bye.
Bye, baby. Nice to see you again.